Hello, I hope you all are doing really well in your respective lives. Today, I, Kunal Nagpal, would like to welcome you back to this great academic portal, Nagpal Ecnotech Academia. My dear friends, today we are actually going to get very deep insights from the renowned industrialist, the great business tycoon, the charismatic leader, none other than Mr. Narayan Murthy. My dear friends, this respectable, charismatic leader has given such deep, thought-provoking insights with full empathy and deep, compassionate understanding with regards to the existing political mindset. Rather, I would like to say he has actually added immense value to the current political practices being structured in our country. Yes, I'm specifically talking about the core framework of the Aam Aadmi Party, the USP of this political party, which actually revolutionizes around the concept of freebies. Yes, you are hearing me right. This great business leader is fully accepting this concept of freebies and regarding it as the great motivational tool for the people, the particular strata of the society who are not able to afford even the basic necessities of life. Yes, and he has tried to add immense value to this current policy, to this particular policy of freebies. And let's try to understand his core mindset, which revolutionizes around this concept of freebies. How we can actually glorify its core application so that the end beneficiary can get benefited in the truest manner, and with the very deep understanding that how can the benefit reach the person with regards to their overall holistic development, targeted for their long-term nurturing. And that's what is the purpose of the nation leader, that is development. And that's what the main purpose of forming or strategizing the policies for the particular beneficiary. Correct? For the particular target group for whom that particular policy has been designed. Keeping in mind the core aspect in which they can get benefited. And Mr. Murthy ji has actually figured out the hidden secret. How can that particular strata can get benefited in the truest manner? So let's try to understand. He has tried to build or modify the existing policy structure. His advice is actually very meaningful because it permits them to develop the beautiful understanding, rather the compassionate understanding. Yes, you're hearing me right. I've used the phrase compassionate understanding. Let's try to understand. I would like to begin with a statement of Mr. Murthy ji. He very beautifully quotes, I am not against the free services being provided. I fully understand, as I also come from a poor background once upon a time. My dear friends, this very beautifully helps us to understand the core roots of this great business tycoon, which have actually helped him to reach the great heights where he is currently where he is currently standing. This is really beautiful, and this proves that how grounded he is. He states, I am not against the free services being provided. I fully understand, as I also come from a poor background once upon a time. But I think we should expect something in return from those people who received those free subsidies to actually take a slightly bigger responsibility towards making their future generation, their own children and grandchildren, better in terms of going to school, performing better. That's what I mean. How meaningful is it, my dear friends? How meaningful is it? As we say in Hindi, आपका अनुभव बहुत ज़्यादा बोलता है. Your experience is the real asset which actually counts. So he is talking from his own experience that this particular concept has actually helped him to actually stand where he is proudly helping millions and millions of youth, rather all age groups across the society, not only of our country but across the globe. This is really beautiful. So my dear friends, he basically states that nothing should be given for free. Nothing should be given for free. And we all know anything which we receive as free has no value. It actually has no value. People availing the government services and subsidies should actually be made to contribute back to the betterment of the society, suggested the IT veteran. He also advocated for the capitalism and regarded it as the only solution for a country like India to actually become prosperous. And my dear friends, here I would also like to quote that our Prime Minister Shree Narendra Modi ji, what is he actually doing which is helping our country to become the superpower across the globe? He is actually helping the youth to actually understand the core beauty of aatma-nirbharta, of self-dependence. Isn't it really beautiful? And that's what the core foundation principle of the belief system being followed by Mr. Murthy ji. And the results are in front of us, be it Mr. Modi ji or be it Mr. Murthy ji. Isn't it really beautiful? And these policies help us to actually develop a very broad mind to how to add value to the practices, the policy practices being structured by other political parties as well in our country, like Aam Aadmi Party here, where we are trying to understand how we can add immense value to the aspect of freebies being advocated by the Aam Aadmi Party. We are not rejecting their main propaganda. We are not rejecting their policy. We are actually trying to bring forward the idea how can the end user be actually benefited in the truest manner. And this is really beautiful. And that's how we define collective leadership. And that's how we understand how we can work as a team and actually reap the benefits by listening to each member of the nation, each member of the team, that is, all of us working towards one common objective, that is overall welfare, the holistic welfare. So these are not the individual parties, rather it is one nation, one purpose, and overall unison actually counts. So let's try to understand further. Mr. Narayan Murthy actually advocated for capitalism and regarded it as the only solution for the country like India to basically become prosperous. Now, he further says, when you provide those services, when you provide those subsidies, there actually must be something in return that they are willing to do as per their capacity. For example, if you say, I will give you free electricity, then it would have been a very nice thing for the government to have said, but we want to see the percentage attendance in the primary schools and the middle schools to basically go up by 20%. Then only we will give you that. Now, my dear friends, please tell me, isn't it sounding really reasonable that if we are providing a free electricity, yes, we will provide the free electricity to the schools, but you should also ensure that there is the minimum percentage of attendance which is being established in those educational authorities. This is really very reasonable and sounding really rational, and which actually beautifies the overall concept and helps us to actually avail the overall utility of this existing framework, of this existing policy being structured by this Aam Aadmi Party in our beautiful country. So he further says that for example, the percentage attendance in the primary schools, if it goes up by 20%, then only we will give you that aspect or that benefit of the freebies of the electricity, if we are talking here in particular. And this is really very logical and very empathetic, and the phrase which we used, the compassionate understanding, and actually understanding the real essence, the application of the existing policy in the truest manner. And that's how we can actually stress upon the importance of giving those subsidies for the poor and underprivileged, because the overall objective is that those particular sections of the society get benefited in a truest manner. Yes, we are providing the services for free, but ensuring that those people are also paying respect to that is, they are paying respect to themselves and they actually want to get benefited. So this is really beautiful and full of understanding, and that's how we understand the true meaning of compassionate understanding, and it is really the integral component of the actual success and the real prosperity of the nation, of the society as a whole. And that's how we define Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam as well. Now in the next session, we are going to elaborate on compassionate capitalism. Namaskar. Jai Hind.